Hello, my name is Andrea, and welcome to my channel. I'm the primary caregiver for my mom who's been living with dementia for more than 3 years now. If you're a caregiver in need of self care or know of someone in need of self care, then this is the right channel for you. Come and let's journey together as we learn from each other. Hello to all my YouTube families and friends. Thanks again for joining me in another episode on my caregiving channel. Today, I have a special guest, one and only Marcel Jones. And Marcel, welcome to my channel, and I just invite you to share with my viewers a little about yourself.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. The caregiver world is a very special world, and the people who do care for their loved ones are very special people, and not noticed often enough as they should be, and is overlooked a lot. And I think that it's a wonderful thing that you're doing in focusing and spotlighting caregiver, especially in these times when there's so much more of a need for it. My name is Marcel Jones, and I have been an advocate in this community, I want to say, for 30 years at least.
Wow.
It's like I've been a natural thing, something that I've always wanted to do, and I realized it was a calling. It was something, it's like my daughter calls it superpowers. God gives each of us a superpower, and it's one of my superpowers. I am called to help in the community. That's what I'm called to do.
And you do an amazing job at that, and that's why you're here and very qualified to come and talk to me today. And we want to have a discussion around hospice care.
So interesting, because I've had to go through that, valley.
Yes.
I had to go through that valley recently, and I've seen a lot of other people go through it, and tried to help a few people myself in managing it, because I have a testimony with that. I lost my mom on November 29th in 2023, and the journey to her loss did include hospice care.
Wow.
And I want to say this, I thank God that I was in the position of being in contact with people who needed care and needed help when I was working in a primary care facility, because I knew how to get this help for her at the time. Understood that hospice was not something that is the end. It is not all about the end. Everyone thinks that hospice is just about the end. There are many people who have come out of hospice, and there are people that go into hospice, and the families realize, oh my goodness, I was afraid of this. I didn't want my parent here, but now thank God for it, because of all the help that I've gotten, because I have my parent or my loved one in hospice. Hospice provides access to money you can't get otherwise for your health care. So Medicare can go beyond just the usual 80-20 hospital outpatient setting, only if you access Medicare through hospice. So it takes it to the level where there's a form of Medicaid, even with long-term care, that you can get through Medicare, and that's a whole thing there, but hospice provides the avenue to this. You can get this when your loved one is in health is so depreciated that you need a lot of care to keep the person going. But in the hospital, maybe they can't do much more for them there. And so you can get it at home or you can get it in a facility. Okay? So either one. So for us, we had my mom in the hospital and they were trying to keep her there because there's money to be made for keeping her there. You have to be aware of that too. And because she had an advance directive, we could stop them from doing certain things. So that's really very important to make sure that you have your advance directive written, saying what the person who is that you're caring for wants to have done with them when they're unable to take care of themselves.
Right, so, and as you touched on that topic, I probably should just segue into the five wishes for anybody, for us. How important is that in your views, and what is the 5 wishes?
I don't have them all in front of me here, but I'm going to say this. You can Google it out there. 5 wishes. It's an advance directive. How you want to be treated if you're unable to care for yourself. Who you want to be the person who heads up your care. Whether you want to be resuscitated if you should stop breathing. Whether you want them to do all kinds of things to save your lives no matter what. And this usually is a question that you have to think about when you're in a condition that you're not coming back from this condition. It's not like you're going to come back from it in the sense that you will be the same that you were before. You know, this is when you make this decision that no, don't do all these things. But keep me comfortable. Keep me comfortable, and that type of thing. That's what when you take a look at the 5 wishes, you'll see, and who has charge over your financial affairs, even too. All of those things, and so when you get to this point, that's when hospice comes about. And this is why sometimes people who go into hospice come out, because at the end of the day, God does have the last word. Oh yes. So you may be, as far as they're concerned, oh no, she's not coming back from this. I know I spoke to a fella the other day, Wes Smith, that was in hospice and he was done. He worked at WAVS and he was done. And honey, he's alive and kicking years later now. But he was in hospice. Okay?
God has the final say.
God has the final say. And they did everything to help him. He was able to access all that care that costs a lot of money that you can't just get with regular Medicare. And because he went into hospice, and he came out and he is living a good life. So, you know, you don't know. It can happen, guys. It can happen. So.
So what do you think is a good time for them to offer hospice care to your loved one?
Well, it's when you know that this person is not going to walk again. They're not going to do this again. They're not going to be able to do the activities that normally one can do again. And they're going down, and you've been told by the doctor that they're going down. But you know, this is what happens when they should offer hospice care at this time, access to it. And to get it at home is a wonderful thing. You can try to get that at home. And in my case, we took her to the hospital the second time when she, had to call 911. And so they were trying to keep her in the hospital. So in the end, we had to put her in a facility because they weren't going to send her back home. She couldn't go back for my mom.
Wow.
So I want to say those people are angels.
Yeah, so I was about to ask you, what's your experience with them?
They have to be angels. That's what I say. Those people at the hospice facility. They're so caring, so intelligent and informed. They are very informative. They give you very straight, give you the information. Once you ask for it straight, they'll give it to you.
Yeah.
And they are very caring about your loved one and the family as a whole. And we went to the one in Tamarack here, and I gotta say, thank you so much if you all are listening and you're caregivers for hospice in Tamarack or anywhere, because I realize they go above and beyond. Really, it's not like your typical, no, not at all. Not like going to the hospital, no. Very different.
Different. Yeah, and the main goal is for comfort.
Yes.
When they're there, you know, and it's all about the dignity. This is something that we have spoken about on the program before. It's about, you know, ensuring that the person is treated in a dignified way when you're caring for them, and so even hospice care, what I understand, as Marcel just mentioned, they go above and beyond. Their facilities are usually like pristine and clean, and they will go extra to even communicate with the family members who might be concerned. And that's my understanding of this whole hospice care, and just to ensure that your loved one is comfortable. And if they do come out of their state, and as you mentioned, they are free to go off in life and
live a good life.
To live a good life. So it's not the end of the world. A lot of times when we hear the word hospice, it's like, oh, this is it. I mean, even although I know that, it still triggers me when I hear that somebody is going on hospice care.
Yes.
So it still triggers me, and I can imagine it will trigger you as being a loved one, because you think that this is the end.
Well, it could be the end, but it's the end in a way that gives dignity, like you said, to the loved one, and actually to the family members. They have a really nice area where you have microwaves, you can sit, have something to eat, have something to drink. You can bring them, you know, poinsettias at Christmas time. You can bring them anything into the rooms, the radio, the music, whatever you want to make them feel comfortable. It's anything that is going to make that loved one feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And the caregivers that are with them feel comfortable.
How did your mother respond to, or was she aware when she was put into hospice care?
Oh, my mother begged us to get her out of the hospital. When she could barely talk much, she said, "Get me out of here."
Oh, the hospital.
She wanted us to take her to hospice.
Wow.
Oh, she wanted us to take her to hospice at that time.
Wow.
Because she went through a series of returning to the hospital a couple times, and she had said to us over and over, "I'm 87 years old, almost 88. No one in my family has ever lived this long. All my friends are gone.
Wow.
Why am I still here?" And she was really suffering. My mom was suffering.
Sorry to hear.
She was. And she said to us, when she heard that I finally got the hospice, she heard, "Oh, get me out of here."
Wow.
When the guys came, "Get me out of here, please take me." And when we got there, she was very happy to be there. And yes, she was.
Wow.
You know, for the little bit that you can call it happiness, because she was really under the gun. She had a tough time.
Yeah, but what was your emotional state looking like at that time?
I was worried when we got her to hospice of how long she would be there, because she kept saying, "Marcel, I want to go."
Oh, she wanted to go. Wow.
And I felt for her.
Wow.
And I didn't know how long she was going to be like that. And the lady helped me. She says, "No. Sometimes Mom will be here for a day or two. Sometimes it could be a week. It depends on them and if they want to go and when they want." She told me that. 2 days later, my mom passed.
Okay.
She told me that it's up to them. So, you know.
So I'm taking it now. So being that you have put that, it's up to them. So it could be a situation that they don't want any more medication because of their whole advanced directives. Then they'll just stop it. Wow.
Yes. Yes, it could. It really is about dignity, because she was suffering. Now, if your loved one is not suffering as much as my mom, but you're unable to care for her
At
at home on your own, and you need somebody to be there to help you. This is amazing for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you get the help you need. You can sleep a little bit, you know?
Wow.
Because a lot of people are caring for people and they can't get no rest, and they have a job sometimes and they're trying to do it. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's eye-opening. So Marcel, we're coming down to the end of our little wrap together, little discussion. And I'd like to leave you with the last words.
What I would like to say is that we all have an expiration date, and we each should be able to go out with dignity. I believe hospice gives you an opportunity to not only get the support you need, but for your loved one to leave with dignity, with their family around them, and with dignity. And don't be afraid of hospice. Ask questions always. Always have your long list of questions. Try to miss nothing. And do everything you can to care for your loved one in the best possible way at this time. Because we all are born to die.
Man,
Yes.
that's so true.
Yes,
That's
yes.
so true. And before I go, I wanted to leave a Bible verse with you. I have Matthew 25 verse 40 from the New Living Translation. And the king will say, I tell you the truth. When you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were doing it to me. And it's all about how we treat others, especially those in need. And it's how Jesus Christ himself would want to be treated. And I specifically got that verse because of the person beside me, which is Marcel, who is all about advocating for others, the less fortunate than herself. Marcel, it was a pleasure. And I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you for joining me here, and it was really a pleasure. And I thank all my viewers again for just watching, sharing, and subscribing. Please remember to share it and remember to subscribe, that you'll get the notification when I put out a new video. Thanks again. Before I go, I want to remind you to love upon your loved ones in a way that they can appreciate the love right now while they still can.
Yes.
That's very important. Right now while they still can. Walk good. Goodbye.
Walk good. I love that one. That's my line you've got here.
Yeah, have a good weekend.
Yes.
Bye-bye.